Hey, boys and girls, are you ready to work on some spelling? What to do when you're writing and you're not sure how to spell a word? We've learned some really good strategies for what to do when we're writing and we're trying to sound out a word and we need to figure out how to spell it, but we're just not sure. And we're going to practice that today with some of our new letters. So remember that when we're writing and we need to spell a word, we have to really slow down and spell. But before we start, I'm going to say a sound, and I want you to write down the letter or letters that makes that sound. So if you don't have a pencil and you don't have your letters out, you need to pause the video and get those out now. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say a sound and I want you to pull down the letter that makes that sound or write the letter that makes that sound. You ready? Here we go. The first sound is ah, ah. What letter have we been studying that makes the ah sound? Letter O. Letter O makes the ah sound. What letter or letters have we learned that make the k sound? How could you spell the k sound? We know one is the C, like in cat. And what's the other one? What other one did we learn is a way to make the k sound? Well, I dropped it. Just a minute. We also learned that the K can make the k sound. So if we were spelling, there's a rule. We haven't learned it yet, but there's a rule for when to use the C and when to use the K. But both of those make the k sound. So either one of those might be the letter that you would need. What letter would you need to spell the S sound? The unvoiced S, continuous S sound. You would need the letter S. Letter S spells S like in sun. What letter would you need to spell the D sound, like in dog? That's right. Letter D. Letter D makes the D sound. And remember, when we make the letter D, we have to make sure we make our doorknob first and then our door. You can't open a door without a doorknob. Letter D says D. Doorknob, then door. D, D. Good job. Okay, last one. What would you use to spell the letter G? The sound G, G. What letter would you use to spell the G sound? That one's a little bit hard to make, so you want to take your time. That is the letter G. It says G, G like gate. Good job. Okay, here we go. Now then, I want you to think about our strategies. We pound and see how many syllables that word has. And then we spell each syllable by tapping out the sounds for each sound in that syllable. So the first one we're going to do today is the word zap. Say zap. Think about what your mouth is doing when you say the word zap. All right, good. Let's pound it. Ready? Zap. How many times did you pound? Pound it with me again. Zap. You pounded one time, so that's one syllable. There's a syllable for every pound. So when we pound once, that's one syllable. Now then, we're ready to tap out those sounds. You ready? We're going to tap out the sounds in the word zap. So watch me. Z, ap. Do it with me. Z, ap. There's three sounds. Z, ap. The first sound is z. The first sound in zap is z. That's a continuous sound and it's voice. Put your hand on your throat. Z. Good job. So the letter Z spells z. So we have the first part. Z, ap. Z, ap. Let's think about that middle sound, that second sound, and let's really stretch that out. Z, ap. What sound did you hear in the middle? What was that sound? Yes, that was the ah sound. So now then I have to find the letter that makes the ah sound. And that letter is, yes, letter A. Letter A says ah. So now I have z, ah. Let's tap it out. Z, ah. What letter says p? It's the lip puffer unvoiced. P, p. Letter P. Letter P says zap, zap, zap. You touch and say to check. Zap, zap, zap. Now remember, after we spell it, we always have to touch and say it slow, say it fast like a word, really quick because we want to check. Okay, we have the word zap. Now then, we need to change one letter to change zap to zip. Say zip, zip. Let's tap it. Z, I. What letter is different in zap than zip? We have zap. We want to make it zip. That middle letter. I hear something different there, so I'm going to put that one up. So let's tap it out and see if we can figure out what letter goes there. Zip. What letter? What sound? I. What letter? I. Itchy. I. Are we finished? No way. We're not finished. We have to touch and say it slow, say it fast like a word. So let's do it. Here we go. Zip, zip, zip. What's our word? Our word is zip. We can zip right through this if we try. Okay, let's push those up. And we're going to do another word. Let's do the word log. Log. If you cut down a tree, you'll have the part that you cut off is the log. A long part of a tree, trunk of a tree. Log. So let's tap out log. Log. Let's do it again. Log. How many syllables do you hear in log? There's one syllable. Okay, so let's tap it out. L, A, G. Do it with me. L, A, G. Do it by yourself. Good job. What's the first sound that we heard in log? L. We heard the L sound. It's a continuous sound. Our tongue is behind our teeth and it's voiced. L. What letter makes the L sound? Letter L. Letter L makes the L sound like in a leaf. Okay, let's tap it out again. Do it with me. L, A, G. What was that second sound? Yes, ah. And my mouth, the shape of my mouth can even help me know which letter that is. L, A, G. What letter says ah? Yes, letter O. Pull it down. Okay, we've got to figure out what the last sound is. Tap it with me. L, A, G. What is the last sound you hear? You hear the G sound. L, A, G. I hear a G sound right here. So what letter says G? It's voiced. Letter G, like gate. G, G, gate. Okay, let's touch and say it slow, say it fast like a word. Here we go. L, A, G, log, log. Were we right? We were. Now we're going to change just one letter in log and make log into lag. Say lag. We don't want to lag behind. Lag. So let's check it. L, A, G. We're going to make it lag. L, ag. So we don't need the ah anymore because that sound has changed. It has changed to what sound? L, ag. Tap it with me. L, ag. What letter sound? What sound do you hear in the middle? Ah. I hear the ah sound in the middle position. So what letter says ah? Letter A says ah, like apple. Touch and say. Say it slow. Fast like a word. Were we right? Yes, we were. That is the word lag. Okay, push those up. We are not going to need them. And now we're going to make the word dog. You should be able to do this one. Dog. Tap it with, pound it with me. Dog. One syllable. Let's tap it. D-og. Do it with me again. D-og. How many sounds? What was this first sound? D-og. We hear the d. And what letter makes that sound? Right. Now, which one of those is the D for dog? The doorknob has to come first. So it's this one, doorknob, then the door. You can't open a door without a doorknob. D-og. Let's think about that middle sound. D-og. What letter says ah? Look at my mouth. Letter O. D-og. D-og. What letter says G? D-og. Letter G. We've been working with that one. It's the voiced G back kicker. D-og. Dog. What's our word? Our word is dog. Good job. Okay. We're going to change this one. I want you to change this from dog to bog. Bog. A bog is kind of a really wet area, like a swamp. Bog. So we have d-og, and we want to change it to b-og. What changed? The first sound. Og stayed the same. So now then, we have to figure out what letter goes at the beginning. Bog. Say it with me. Bog. Let's tap it out. B-og. What's the first sound? B. That's right. And what letter makes that sound? Yes, letter B. Now, when we make the B, remember we have to have the bat first and then the ball. So pull down your B. What's our word now? It's bog. And remember, a bog is like a swamp. B-og. Bog. Bog. Good job. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 more words, and you're going to do these by yourself. The first one I want you to do is the word van. Say van. Van. What's the first thing you need to do when you're making the word van? That's right. Pound it to see how many syllables. And then what do? Tap it out. That's right. And then what? Match a letter for all your sounds. Okay, build that one for me. Build the word van. Good job. Are you finished? No, you're not. You have to touch and say it slow, say it fast like a word. So do that and check yourself, because you always have to check to make sure you're right. Good job. Well, help me out. And that's what? Yeah, that's letter V. A is letter A. And is, yeah, letter N. It's that nasal. Remember, that sound comes out our nose. That is the word van. Now then, here's your job. Last one to do by yourself. Change van to vat. Change just one letter and change van to vat. What did you do? Oh, check it. Better check it. Make sure it's right. Good. Now help me out. If I want to change van and to vat, at, which sound is different? The ending sound. So I want to put that in up here, and I'm going to replace it with what? With the letter T. And I have the word vat. At, that, that. Good job. Okay, boys and girls, here's what I needed you to learn today. When we are writing and we're not sure how to spell a word, we can slow down to spell. And to do that, we pound to see how many syllables there are. Then we can spell each syllable. And to do that, we tap the sounds to see how many sounds we hear and then match a letter for every sound we hear. You did some really hard work today, and I'm very proud of you. Go have a great day.